Hi everyone, and welcome back to Art Journal Sunday Prompts. Today I have a little art buddy with me, Ozzy. Say hi, Oz.
Hi.
And he is going through my prompt box and choosing different prompts. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity too for me to do some different background. The theme of today's entry is I am fat. And the reason I chose that title is because I read this article on Facebook about, and the first line of it was, do you cringe when you see photographs of yourself in pictures and, other people post like on Facebook or family events? And right before I'd read that article, I had just called one of my friends and asked her to remove one of the pictures off me because I thought it was such an unflattering picture. She didn't think so, and she's like, I can't believe it, but sure, I'll take it down if it bothers you. So she took it off. Then I read that article, and the article was so amazing and just incredible the way it was written. And basically the gist of it was, are you somebody that cringes every time you see a picture of yourself posted? And the article went on to say, you see yourself as too big or too thin. Some people think they're too thin. Or whatever you see yourself as in a negative light. You're always looking at yourself in a negative light, so much so that you don't want the pictures posted. But yet those pictures to everyone else are life events happening. They're documentation that you were at that birthday party, that you were at that wedding, that you celebrated your birthday. It's all life documentations of yourself. So if you are a little bit overweight, that's where you are in this moment in time. So I want to kind of document that on this page for myself, because it's exactly what I was going through. Just cringing, thinking, oh my God, look at my fat arms, look at my face, look at my double chin. That's all I would see. But after reading that article, it just totally turned me around. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some of that Dina Wakley paint. I think I'm going to choose 3 colors and just kind of scrape them on here with a piece of cardboard. So now I'm going to add some of these Dina Wakley paints just because I want to show you kind of how she showed us. So I'm using this pretty blackberry violet and lime. Beautiful colors. So I'm just going to, and remember this is a really heavy bodied acrylic. So a little goes a long, long way. So we'll first do, I'm just taking a piece of cardboard, I'm just going to scrape it across like that. And like that. And one thing I totally forgot to do, well, I didn't forgot to do, I chose not to. She said that she uses blue as a neutral color. So before she does anything, her background is usually blue because she says when you look up at the sky, there's nothing that doesn't go with blue, which is so true. So now I'm just going to add this violet, but because I'm pretty much covering my whole page with paint, I don't really need the blue because it would have gotten lost. So now I'll just add this really, isn't that just the richest violet? It's just, and when you scrape it on like this, it just gives it such a really cool looking texture to it. Now I'm going to let this dry. Okay, so the next thing I'm doing is I stuck a stencil, it's a honeycomb stencil, under the page, and I'm just using a wax crayon here, and I'm rubbing on top just to add some cool background. This is another way of using your stencils. It doesn't always have to be painted with stencils. It just gives it a cool background. So I'm going to do it over here. You can hear the boys. They are over here. You should see some of the cool art they are creating. Love it. So see, I'm just dragging this over top with a wax crayon. And you can see the honeycomb coming through. And it gives you yet another element to your background page. And another way to use a stencil. And then the next stencil I'm going to use is got flowers on it. And I want to use a little bit of that. I'm just going to use white paint. And I might stencil that over here. I'll put it right on my craft mat here. And we'll paint as a bit of a kind of a dry brush technique. I always think is best for stencils. And again, these are just all techniques to give you a great background effect. There, see? And we'll do it again kind of over here somewhere. The pounding you hear is Turner. He's creating... What are you creating, Turner?
Something.
Something, he said. And I think I'll put a little bit of that right in here, too. Very cool. So I'm just going to let this dry. So the next thing I'm going to do for my background is just add some funky circles to the page. And I'm just using the lid of a glue stick. And I'm sticking it in this blue acrylic paint here. It's just on my craft mat. And it's called Tropical Blue. So I'm just going to squeegee it. And I want lots on it because I want to make some drippage. So there's one over there. We want lots of paint. Lots of paint to make some drippage. Come on. I'm holding my book upright so that it will drip when I put the paint on. So maybe if I turn it this way, then you guys can watch me do it. I want so much on here that it drips. Come on, paint. Can't seem to get enough paint on there. When you don't want it to drip, of course, it doesn't. It does. When you want it to, it won't. You know? Right, Turner?
Yeah.
There we go. And then I'll just tap my book a little bit to make it drip. There they go. That's the ticket. Put one over there with lots of paint. So just to finish my background off, I'm going to use some of my Martha Stewart High Gloss black paint with those spout tips I was telling you about in the last art journal video. And the hole is so tiny. So I'm going to try it out on a smaller piece of scrap paper first. See? And we can write something. We can make some swirls, which is what I'm going to do. Put some here. Little swirl over here. Over here. It's just the coolest thing. So it's like a pen, but it's just acrylic paint. And it affords you the opportunity to do whatever you want with it. And I want to write the word body image. And I think I'll put body right here. Body image. So it's very cool that you can actually draw with acrylic paint. Or, I mean, write with acrylic paint. There we go. So I'm not sure if you can see that up at the top here, where it says body image. So my background is all dry. That acrylic paint with the word body image really dried really nice. I love that. So, and that paint by Dina Wakley, it is kind of like glossy feeling, but it's not glossy, if that makes sense, I guess, because it's heavy-bodied acrylic. So I found a couple images on the internet, and I really want to use them. So I will doctor them up. This one I cut out, and I like her because she's smiling. I just love this. So while I glue this down, you know, I was reading some of the articles, and one of them brought tears to my eyes because it said, those people that are fat don't become fat because a lot of us, because we sit there and eat bowls of fat every single day. Fat can come about because of being a trauma, illness, where you're unable to exercise, medication. There's all kinds of reasons. Stress, why people pack on the pounds. And as soon as we do, and even though we know why, like I know why I've packed on some pounds, because I haven't been able to work out and exercise. And sometimes eating, not that I ate well, I don't want to say ate the wrong things, but I'm sure I did sometimes. But that eating was for survival. I was in survival mode, just getting through life without extreme pain. But even though I know that, and you guys may know that about your self-image too, whatever the reason for it, we still fall into all society's things that being fat or being way too skinny is totally unacceptable. And honestly, there's no other group of people on the planet Earth that it's okay to make jokes about other than fat people. It's just okay. It's just, you know, and it's just difficult when you are overweight, whether it be 30 or 40 pounds overweight or 100 pounds overweight. And this article, I'm just looking to see what her name is. Deborah Sherman Kaufman wrote this article. And she's the one that said, almost if you make jokes about fat people, you're to be applauded, or fat people are so disgusting. And, you know, there's a lot of people, you listen to people talk, there's people you see that they look fabulous, and you would give anything to be like them. And they'll go, oh, I'm so fat. Look at my, and then you're like, well, if they think they're fat, they must think I'm a chubba-lubba. Do you know what I'm saying? When I had a daughter, I had really low self-esteem about myself back in the day. I thought I was fat. I was not fat at all. I danced. I taught dancing. But I had this food thing, and I joined Weight Watchers, and I would not eat all week, and then I would binge after I weighed in. I was really getting into a really bad binging. I didn't throw up, but I would binge, and that would hold me for the whole week. And then by the time it was time to weigh in, I would weigh in, and then I'd prepare the food all the day of the weigh-in, cookies, everything I loved, and then I just sat there and ate till I was so full, and then I wouldn't hardly eat at all for the rest of the week. That's not healthy. That's not good. And yeah, I lost a ton of weight and I looked horrible. As soon as I lost all that weight, don't you know, all my immune system went out of whack. All of my immune system, diseases, lupus, and all that started flaring up. So I should have just left myself alone. For all you young people out there, you're perfect. Leave yourself alone. So when I had a daughter, it was my goal in life for her to never say the words, I am fat. And you know what? She is so athletic. Her thing she would say is, oh, I need to go to the gym, or I need to work out, or I need to go for a run, or I need to do some yoga. For her, exercise is part of her life, and she eats very healthy and normal, but she's not one of those carrot lettuce eating people. She eats good healthy food, but she also exercises part of her being, like breathing. And I feel like if I've done nothing else in life, I raised my daughter to know that healthy and athletic bodies are the healthiest. So I really am happy about that. So anyway, we as people that, and I'm just speaking for myself because I am overweight right now. And it's so funny how we get so caught up in, we don't want anyone to take our picture. We don't want anyone to see us. Like, you know, we don't want to be pictured. We try and find all these angles to get our body at. And we don't want anyone to see us how we look, exactly how we look. Everyone knows what we look like. They have eyes. But yet we think by the magic of photography, if we twist ourselves a different way, we're going to look different. We look beautiful the way we are. And by not allowing yourself to be seen in photographs, life is passing you by. I'm thinking today I heard one of my friend's daughter was hit by a car, and right now she's in intensive care, so please pray for her. Her daughter's like in her 20s. And when I was thinking about this art journal page, I was just thinking about, what if she or her daughter never wanted their picture taken? Wouldn't that be just tragic if something awful happened to her and she didn't have any pictures of herself with her daughter? She has a picture of her and her daughter on Facebook. It is absolutely beautiful. They're both not overweight, but it doesn't matter. They could have their own issues as to why they don't want the picture taken. I know you get my drift as to what I'm saying. We need to be recorded for the future. People need to see us. And I don't think that right now a lot of people, I hope not, but even if they are, that's okay. But I think what I hear when people look at me in pictures, now they're saying, oh, you look so good after that brain surgery, after all you've been through. You know, like it's documented. There's pictures of me. I'm not waiting till I get back down to my size I was before. So I also found this, and I'm going to make sort of a sign on cardboard. And it says, I am fat. And then they've crossed it out. No, I am not. I just have fat. My weight does not define me, and neither does yours define you. So I just think that's an awesome statement. So I'm going to use this corrugated cardboard and kind of glue this on there somehow, because I want it to kind of look like just a sign. I don't know. I just feel like using corrugated cardboard. So I am going to... So yeah, for all you people out there, if you're having... Oh, I don't know how many friends I've heard say this. It's their reunions and they won't go because they feel like they don't look good or for whatever reason. I'm not going because, I mean, seriously, those are people you might have made friends with and you don't want to see your friends. And I'm guilty. I've done this. I didn't want to see one of my girlfriends because I thought she would judge me on how I looked, and how awful of me to think that of a friend. I mean, if she's your friend, why would she? You know what I mean? And then just now, I got caught in my own stuff. I was outside doing some Tai Chi, and Richard was just videotaping me for our vlog, and so I ran it back, and I'm like, whoa, whose belly is that? Of course it was mine. But, you know, I was just like, wow, I don't want to show that, I don't want to show that. And then I just thought of, well, I'm just art journaling. So yeah, it'll be on my blog, me and my belly and all, so. But I know, but at least I'm doing Tai Chi. I'm doing some exercise. I'm not sitting here eating candy bars and whatever. I am trying to exercise, to do something about it. And right now, the only kind of exercise that I can do without it hurting me is Tai Chi. So that's what I'll be doing. And then when I can do a little bit more, I will. But for those of you that cannot, that's your story. Just don't let it make you miss out on lovely family events and things like that. You know, think about that. So I put it on the corrugated cardboard because I kind of like the way it looks. Maybe I'll make it like a post, like a street sign, or you know what I mean, like a sign. I should walk around carrying this. Yeah, I love that. I am not. I just have fat. And it doesn't define me. Hot diggity damn, you know? So I'm going to play around with her dress a little bit, and I'll be back. So right now I'm going to take some of my Faber-Castell markers, ones with the brush tip, and I'm just going to give her some lipstick. Just kind of brighten up some of the, you know, because this was not my art creation, but when you go over it with pens and stuff, it makes it appear more art-like, if you catch my drift. And I'm going to go all around, as I do with any of my images, just go around with the big thick black tip pen. And then I'm going to doll up her dress with some stickles. So here is my finished page, and it's kind of zoomed in so you can see some of the detailing in the background. So let me just show you what I did to finish it off. I put some Mod Podge on my sign, so it's not quite clear yet, but once it dries it will be. So I am fat. No, I am not. I just have fat. My weight does not define me, neither does yours define you, so it's not clear for you to read, but it will be legible. I added my post, and I just rubbed a little white paint around the sign and around the post of it. Let's see, I did some stickles on her dress. You can see those nice and clear. And I gave her some blingy earrings. And I outlined her with the Pitt pen. I did a little flower daisy foam stamp all the way around for my border. I love to border my art journal entries. I don't know, I guess I feel like they're not finished if I don't. I took some white splatter paint, so I'm not sure if you can see. You can see it on her dress. There we go, right there. Oops, I touched her stickles. But then I added from the Tim Holtz those little tiny words. I love these. These are them here. I have used these so much. They're called Chit Chat. So it says there, she is on her journey. And you can just see all the detail and all those different things I did in the background. So in closing, I will just say I will take a little excerpt from the article and also add that we shouldn't hate ourselves because we don't have the right body image that we think is a perfection, whatever that is. Don't hate yourself because you're too skinny, too fat, too tall, too short, your feet are too big, you have bad skin, you don't like your hair, whatever. Because I can guarantee when you die and go up to the pearly gates and you see God, God is not going to say to you, why didn't you lose weight? Or why didn't you fix those imperfections? God is going to say to you, why didn't you love yourself? So this message is so good for me that I'm even getting choked up saying it to you guys. So we need to love ourselves in whatever in the present, whatever that means right now, in the present. So what if my belly was big doing Tai Chi? I was out doing Tai Chi, and you know, until I looked at the video of it, I felt so good doing it. I had a big smile on my face. I was having so much fun until I looked back on the video. And then I remembered this art journal page. And this is why art journaling is so therapeutic for me and for anyone. You don't have to be an artist to do art journaling. This image was printed from the computer and I just embellished on her, as was this. I could have typed that out in Word. You don't, do some of these backgrounds, you do not have to be an artist to art journal. So thank you so much for watching, and remember to love yourself, and we'll see you next Sunday. Bye. This is a little painting that Ozzy created with the prompts. And look how he dragged the black paint over. Isn't that cool? Collaged on there with paper. He just had a ball. Loved it. Very cute. And then he also, I think I showed you, he created this little bug. He painted on both sides, all by himself. No guidance from me. Made some legs and put some eyes on it. So I just let them go to town, and it's amazing how creative they are if you just let them go. I don't care what happens. I mean, they spilt an entire bottle of glitter on the floor. It can vacuum up. And then Turner decided to join us, and he wrote on the back, this is a picture of a silver Lord sword. I don't know what that means. But he used some styrofoam from packing. And then he said, Nana, can I use some toilet paper? I'm like, what for? He said, I just have this idea in my head. So he just glued a whole bunch of toilet paper on a piece of paper, squished it all down, really hard. It doesn't feel like toilet paper. And then added acrylic paint to it. Very cool. He says, my masterpiece. I spelled it. Awesomeness. I love art.